Kentucky, a cowgirl is cooling her heels, remembering that God gave us herbs and the fruits of the field. But a criminal law that makes outlaws of those seeking life make a free Mexican Air Force, Mescalito riding his white horse. The free Mexican Air Force is flying tonight, flying so high. How strange an innocent herb causes money to burn. They'll jail you or kill you for making those rich fat cats squirm. But nothing can stop us, my vision is clearly in sight. And the free Mexican Air Force is flying tonight. While we smoking colitas, federales are loading their guns, blowing smoke from their six-shooters, spinning their barrels for fun. Contrabandistas, banditos of light, we're the free Mexican Air Force and we're flying tonight. And high in the hills we are harvesting sweet sensimilla. The law wants it all because they think that why we can free us. Freedom for us is a prison for the rulers of might. That's why the free Mexican Air Force, Mescalito riding his white horse. The free Mexican Air Force is flying tonight.
Everybody.
Flying tonight.
Good evening. Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more. And it is definitely an evening for boxing. In fact, today is today there's been so many. It's the anniversary of so many fights, and we're going to talk about a couple of them that go back in 1979 on this day, November 30th, 1979. We're going to go to Las Vegas. We're going to check out Sugar Ray Leonard and Wilfred Benitez. Then we're going to go back and we're going to look at the Marvin Hagler Vito Antuofermo fight. And also on this day was the day that Floyd Patterson became the youngest heavyweight champ of the world when he beat Archie Moore. And he also became he was the only heavyweight champ to ever regain his title up until that point. And many tried and many failed. But before I get started, man, I got an old friend of mine back here, man. I haven't seen him in a long time. I didn't know what they did with him, man. I don't know if they locked him up. I don't know if they deported him. I don't know if he was back training fighters or maybe HBO hijacked him so they can get their boxing program off the road again. But anyway, man, here's my brother. Here's my brother, George Jakovic.
Yeah.
George.
It's good to be here, man. It's been too long. Actually, the truth is you banned me from the show.
Wow.
So I served my penance and I'm allowed back. So I'm grateful to you. Grateful to you, Bruce. Thanks for letting me back.
All right, brother. It isn't the same here without you. And actually, I couldn't get anybody else. I figured.
Hey, it's good to be needed or wanted or both or neither.
Well, you're definitely wanted, needed, well respected, and loved around here, brother. You know, I'm grateful to have you on here, and you know, you being a fan of the great Sugar Ray Leonard, and of this whole night, man. This was a great night. And also on this card, Marvin Johnson, he knocked out Victor Galindez. A lot of people forget that one. That was a great fight.
You know what I remember, and I did some research too, but that fight was not at Caesars. I think the Hagler fight and the Leonard fight were at Caesars. The other one was in New Orleans, so it was some split site card. There probably is a reason for it. I don't know what the reason was.
ABC did that a few times throughout their illustrious career in boxing. They did that. They did that the night of throughout their illustrious career in boxing. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. What happened? They did that the night of throughout their illustrious career in boxing. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. They did that. All right, here, man. Man, I'm glad you're here, George. I'm glad you're here. I need a technical director here. I need a producer, and I got me a wingman.
That's right.
So I think we're back to normal again here. So tell me, George, did you catch this fight?
I did. I remember watching this fight, ABC prime time, and of course, you know, Sugar was my guy, and right behind me, that's the cover of Sports Illustrated that Sugar was on when he beat Benitez to become welterweight champ. So I watched it, and I vividly, even as a kid, remember watching Hagler and saying, "Oh wow, you know, he won that fight pretty easy." And then I was stunned when they said it was a draw. So I remember that night very fondly, and I mean, I'm reminded of it every day when I look at Sugar over here. What that night was, it just makes me. I miss those days. That was prime time on ABC. I mean, they had, God, I don't even know what the audience was, but just a tremendous viewing audience that watched it. And there aren't days like that anymore. It's a different world. It just is. It
is a freebie on a Friday night, putting three great fights on one card. On the TV, we could just have to shake the antennas and it came in. I think it was channel 12 around here.
See, channel 7. ABC is channel 7 in the New York area. So I was watching, you know, Howard Cosell, channel 7, ABC, prime time. Like, that was big, man. That was so big.
It was, man. It was. Hey, man, let me. I'm being rude. I'm not shouting out the cats that came in here to see us, because if it wasn't for them, George, it would just be me and you here talking about these fights, and I'd have to get somebody to wipe the drool off my chin, and man, you know.
You do pretty good. You're like a veteran, man. You're like almost a 24-hour guy doing these shows. It's awesome.
I actually went to school. I went to a place in Boston called Graham Junior College. It used to be the Columbia School of Broadcasting, and you know, I have an associate's degree in public communications. I was an all-night DJ at their radio station. That's where I picked up my fondness for jazz and even in rock, and I just got real comfortable behind the mic. And bro, and with you here, when I start to stumble, you pick me up.
You don't stumble. I've seen enough of your shows by yourself. You don't stumble, but I'm grateful to be here. So.
Oh man, so am I. And let me shout out who came in there. Pigeon Mike Tyson, bro. Shout out to you, man. One Round with George Jakovic is in my chat room too, bro. Hey, George, you got your twin brother out there. It must be a troll. Let me
block him.
Ban him. Yeah, I'll block him.
Yeah.
All right, Mary Teresa St. Hamster. Shout out, sister. Appreciate you. I've seen you around today, man. She hangs out over Buddy East Coast Music. This new channel I've been going to, man. just a lot of fun, like everything else around here, man. Mr. Pads, my brother. Shout out to you, man. Harvey, man. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Joe, my man. How you doing, bro? Hey, George. I think I told everybody else. I came down with COVID on Saturday. It was I've been making edibles lately, man. I bought this new machine. It's called the Levo 2. It's an extractor. I don't have to smoke as much. I mean, not that I don't have that Toka 2 right at my fingertips, but I've been making this infused honey. But it's not only for that, but you can make infused olive oil with with things like basil and oregano. You can make all these nouveau things that the chefs are using these days. But lo and behold, the real reason, wink, wink, is to infuse your weed and make this stuff they call butter and edibles and honey and all the stuff that makes my life more palatable, bro. And anyway, man, on Saturday we were getting ready to see the Regendahl and the Potter fight, and I'm saying, man, did I eat too much edibles, or am I coming down with something? And man, it was a terrible night. I laid in bed. I had heartburn. I must have had to get up to take a leak about 10 times. And the next morning, I told my wife, I said, something's not right with me. And she had the COVID test in her hand. And sure enough, it came up positive. I called the doctor right away. It was on a Sunday morning, and I got some assistant, but he hooked me up with this thing. Here it is, man. Flavaloid. They're these 5 a little cycle thing. It's got 5 of these packets in here, and you take 3 of these horse pills in the morning, and you take 3 of them in the evening, and it knocked it right out of me. I don't know if it's because of the good immune system, the way that I eat, the way I drink a lot of water, and I take the right supplements, I think. But man, I've had hangovers that held me back worse than this COVID.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful, and I hope it's kind of dwindled down. I hope this strain is manageable. I hope it doesn't start killing people again. And at first I was like, hey, but hey,
I mean, 3 days. If you got over it in 3 days, that's partly due to that you take care of yourself, and like you said, it's probably a different strain. And I mean, like you've had hangovers worse, is what you said. You probably had colds that are worse than what you just went through. So I'm just glad you're feeling good, and you're back in the saddle.
I appreciate it, and I had so much support from my family out there. They're all wishing me well. Oh, my battery's running. I gotta get up and do something here, man. Excuse me for 1 second.
Gives me some time to talk.
There you go. You can take over.
One thing, Bruce, you probably saw this, but I think a perfect Christmas gift for you would be the Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. They're in business together, and they've got a product called Holy Ears, and it's cannabis fused ears that are like, I guess, the shape of Holyfield's ears. I don't know if you know that they're in business. There's a commercial that they did. I think a bag of Holy Ears would be a great gift for you.
Tell me something I don't know, George. Someone told me about those Holy Ears probably 3 months ago. I haven't had one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And hey, it's kind of it's accepted in society now. Like I talk about, mind-altering substances. It goes so far back in history. I mean, there's a herd of elephants that travels 1,000 miles in Africa every year to get to this farm that the grapes ferment on the vine, and the elephants go there, and they know they eat those fermented grapes to get the buzz, to get drunk. So I guess it's inherent in us. We kind of like to escape reality. Me, maybe a little more than others, but hey, it's part of my life. I don't hurt anyone. I think it's and in fact, I really think that the THC helps keep my immunity system high, my immune system, and it all seems to be working well. But anyway, bro, let's talk about the fight, man.
Well, one second before we talk about the fight, I told you I am going to send you. I'll have to show you pictures, but a friend of mine who worked at HBO, I had breakfast with him yesterday. He said, I got something for you. He was texting me like, it's no big deal, but I'm going to bring it with me. Literally this giant box of fight posters and like you see the Oscar De La Hoya thing behind me. There was that. I mean, fight posters that go back to like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Not a lot of big fights, like fights in Philly, fights at the Blue Horizon, some Jeff Chandler fights, Billy Dynamite Douglas fight. I'll have to send you some pictures, and I'll have to send you some. And Bruce, one of the things that was in there, and it blew my mind, but it's a poster from the first Hearns, and it's Hearns Leonard, not Leonard Hearns, their first fight, and it's autographed by Sugar Ray Leonard back in '81. So
I'll reluctantly take that off your hands, George.
But Bruce, I'll send you pictures. There's really, it's like a.
You did, bro. You did. You must be higher than I am, man.
Well, no, but I sent you 3 or 4 pictures. I mean, there's literally like 60. There's like 60 posters in there. So it's just great boxing history, man. You'll love it. And they're the authentic, like thick, big posters that they would have up on the walls in bars or anywhere else.
The cardboard posters.
Yes.
Almost.
Yes.
Wow, that's something. But yeah, yesterday you sent me like oh man, there's a bunch of them in here. My phone just started going boring, boring.
I was like a little kid, Bruce. I had all these, and I was taking and I had to share it with someone that I knew would appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
you sent it to the right person because I was on Mad Chads and I said, "Oh, look what George just sent me." I'm like this with my phone. I'm going up and down and I'm showing everybody, and I'm like, wow. And then of course John McSmith says, "Who wants posters with men's pictures on them?" And I just said, "Mick Smith, you crusty old bastard. I know you must have your wall plastered with Playboy centerfolds that don't even need any glue to stick on the wall with."
Exactly.
And,
exactly.
And Paula, my brother, man, shout out to you, man. Thank you for coming by. I don't know if I already said you, but you know me, my short-term memory, man. I kiss my wife good night, and then I go wake her up and say, "Did I kiss you good night?" And she'll say,
"Nothing wrong with that."
Oh,
nothing wrong with that.
Well, she thinks I have ulterior motives on my mind, which I might if my mind was all right. But hey.
Yeah.
Oh, my brother George. All right, bro. Now this fight is 43 years. 43 years ago tonight.
43.
A 15-round fight. Sugar Ray Leonard fighting Wilfred Benitez. Wilfred Benitez made $1.2 million. Sugar Ray made $1 million. This was the largest grossing fight for non-heavyweights at the time.
Yeah.
And it was free, no pay-per-view, no closed circuit.
It's amazing. They could make the money. They didn't need that for these fights because that is a lot of money. It's a lot of money now, but back then, 1979.
Let me show you what the magic of our Google system here. It's something that's very easy to do, and it's kind of a lot of fun when you're doing this. What's $1 million in 1979 worth today?
According to Inflation Calculator, $1 in 1979 is equivalent in purchasing power to about $4.10 today, an increase of $3.10 over 43 years. The dollar had an average inflation rate of 3.34% per year between 1979
it would be worth over $4 million today.
Of 310.48%.
Thank you, sweetheart.
With no pay-per-view revenue coming in.
No, and this was the value of sponsorship. I don't know if they forgot all about it, or if the sponsors say, the hell with boxing. But and this was not the end of an era. This was pretty much the beginning of an era. This went through the 80s, afternoon boxing, and they put many of these primetime cards on. ABC, CBS, NBC, they all did them.
Oh yeah, and this was the start. This really was the beginning of the Four Kings era, with Sugar Ray winning a belt because Durant had titles before then, but this is like pretty much the beginning of those four icons becoming a part of boxing history.
Leonard was a 3-1 favorite. Wilfred Benitez's father. There was a November issue of the Ring, and Wilfred Benitez's father said, "My son's not going to win this fight.
Yeah.
He's not training. He's doing everything but going to the gym. I'm not going to be in his corner. If he gave me 200,000, I wouldn't be in his corner. But he was in his corner. His answer was, I only said that to motivate my son. If I said he was going to win, he'd kick back and lay down, lay by the poolside. So I guess there might have been some madness to the method."
Mr. Paz put in the chat, Leonard was 23, Benitez was 21, and they fought each other.
Mm-hmm.
You just you think about today when you can't get guys to fight each other in multiple divisions, that they won't fight each other. And these guys did it they were a combined 44 years old, 23-year-old and a 21-year-old, and they fought each other.
Unbelievable. And not to mention, everybody knows Wilfred Benitez. He was a world champ at 17, the youngest world champ.
Yep.
So this was his second defense of his second title he was defending
At 21.
At 21, Sugar Ray Leonard was the number 2 contender. I'm just thinking. I'm saying it's not Duran. I think it's probably Carlos Palomino.
It must have been, because that's who Benitez beat to become a champ. So it must have been Palomino.
Yeah, and also Duran beat Palomino in '79. So I guess it probably was Duran.
That's right. Yeah, I wonder. I'm shocked that Sugar Ray. It couldn't have been Pepino Cuevas. Well, Pepino Cuevas had a belt.
Yeah, he was
a belt.
WBA.
Yeah, he had a belt, and it wasn't Tommy. Tommy wasn't ranked higher than Sugar Ray.
No, not at the time. And
it's a nice bit of trivia.
Yeah, it is, man. Hey, Carl Hunter Hansen, my brother from Australia.
Yeah, the Hunter.
Hunter from down under, man. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for coming by. Thank you guys for coming by. And let's see. I guess we can show a little bit of this fight and talk about it, man. In fact, let me find highlights so we don't have to
Bruce, what I remember and what I looked up, the first fight on that, it was a triple header. The Antuofermo Hagler fight was the first fight that they showed.
Yeah.
So that led off the night. Then it went to the light heavyweight fight, and then the main event was Benitez and Leonard. So, Marvin's fight was the first fight.
Marvin's fight was the first fight, and I think we'll hold off. We'll talk about that one after this fight, because there's a lot of history in that fight, a lot that led up to it. I mean, Hagler, he went through the cheese grater for that fight. He had to get. We'll bring it up, but anyway, let's share the screen here. And your old buddy's doing the ring announcing.
Oh man, my boy Chuck Hull.
Chuck Hull,
man,
and look at that.
Look at my man Sugar.
And look at the young man.
23 years old.
He looks like a child. Janks Morton behind him. Angelo Dundee in his corner. Yeah, this was in This was in Las Vegas. They were at Caesar's Palace. There were only 4,600 people watching this fight live.
Look, there's a graphic error. San Just, Puerto Rico. It's San Juan. I used to do graphics when I was started at HBO, so somebody got ripped that night for that misspelling.
43 years, George. They still haven't straightened it out.
That's right.
With the technology now, that could be touched up easily, man. I'm telling you, your talents are wasted over here, brother. But yeah, there's the undefeated Sugar Ray Leonard, the undefeated Wilfred Benitez, and look at the stare down. This was an intense stare down.
Look at Benitez. And Carlos Padilla right behind him. The infamous Carlos Padilla. Man, I know you know what's going on with him.
Now they're talking about a fixed Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Boxing is just as crazy as it ever was.
Man. Yeah, it's always going to be a circus. Look at Sugar with the big right, big left.
Yeah. The big left. And Angelo Dundee told him, forget about the right. Because, see, when the fight started, people thought it was going to be an early night. Sugar Ray was walking him down. In fact, he's going to put him on his rump in a few seconds. with a left hand. And but after a few rounds, we're going to see Wilfred Benitez starts to figure Leonard out. And I mean, Wilfred Benitez was the Bible of boxing, they called him, man.
The radar, yeah. He knew he could sense punches coming.
Mm-hmm. After the fourth round, Sugar Ray Leonard went back to the corner, and Angelo Dundee said, "Don't even try to hit him with the right hand." But Leonard said, "But he's right there." And Angelo said, "Yeah, but as soon as you throw the punch, he's not there."
Look at him. He just missed 4 shots. And those are fast shots. That's Sugar Ray Leonard throwing those punches.
Oh, yeah, man. But Benitez, there goes Benitez down.
Jab. Had his feet together.
Yeah, it was a flash knockdown, but it was it was definitely a letting us know who was in charge over here. Leonard had the power. Wilfred Benitez, and Leonard said that it was like fighting himself, a mirror image of himself. Yep. Because now we can see where Benitez is starting to figure Leonard out a little bit. He's crowding him, crouching down. And Sugar Ray said he said he had to realize, hey, I'm in a championship fight here. This is not one of these guys that I'm climbing the ladder for.
God, look at the I mean, he made him miss a right hand by like 8 inches.
Yes, sir.
You know, Benitez had a reputation too as a guy who barely trained. You know, he was winning a lot of these fights without really training for them.
I heard a rumor that his father had to pull him out of a crack house 2 days before this fight. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I know back in 1979, that was when athletes, and especially athletes, they didn't realize how detrimental that would be on your career. That was considered, this is the movie star powder. This is the stuff that makes the Colombian army so strong. And a lot of boxers fell prey to that. And Wilfred Benitez, he was just so much talent. He didn't have to train. He thought he would just get by on his natural ability, his God-given ability, his natural talent. We can see in here, he's got the shoulder roll down. He looks like he's shifting stances. And he's just a magnificent guy to watch. But Sugar Ray Leonard, I think, was the we know Sugar Ray Leonard is just opening up his Pandora's box over here and letting out the how many titles did Sugar Ray Leonard end up with? 5?
5.
5, and this was the first.
This was the first. This is what started it all.
God, and there toe-to-toe action. Oh yeah.
And Sugar was vicious too. I mean, especially if he had you hurt.
He had that hawk sense where those eyeballs just narrowed and squinted, and he was going to get you, and nobody was going to stop him. If the referee stepped in there, God help the referee. He just had that. He was a finisher. Once he hurt you, and he just got rocked by a left hook by Benitez.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, beautiful combination by Leonard. It's got Wilfred in a little trouble here. And this fight was only a week after the Willie Klassen Wilfred Scipion fight.
Yeah.
Where
Tragic.
Exactly. And this fight was stopped, in the 15th round. And on one of the ESPN specials, Bert Sugar was talking to Sugar Ray, and he said, "Do you think Carlos Padilla stopped this fight because of that? Because of the Willie Klassen tragedy?" And he said, "I think so. I don't think he wanted to see that again.
Yeah.
I don't think they wanted that a week later on national television." But it's a dangerous sport.
Sadly, look how Benitez turned out. He's in very bad shape nowadays, and it's because of boxing.
I've seen the pictures of him. He's been like that for a while now. He
has.
I think he lives on a $200 a month pension. That's all he gets, SSI, because they didn't properly tax themselves. They didn't pay into Social Security. I mean, boxing is notorious for being the the cruelest son of a bitch to it once it's retired fighters, man. And I mean, we
that
look.
money was gone. Like they would get the money and then it was gone because they knew they'd have another fight. So they didn't think about saving. You're young. You're 21. I just got $1 million for fighting Sugar Ray. Maybe I'll get a rematch, or I'm going to get other title fights, so I can spend this money.
And Wilfred Benitez's father was a notorious gambler.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, some say that he bet Wilfredo's entire purse before the fight was even taking place. Carlos Mendoza, salute my brother. Thank you for coming by, man. I know it's late where you're at, bro. Hey, Mike Biggs, how you doing, my man? Shout out to you. We're on here on this anniversary of the 43rd anniversary of two fights that George and I watched, and one of them is the coronation of Sugar Ray Leonard winning his first world championship, a WBC Welterweight Championship, against the incredibly gifted Wilfred Benitez, who went on to win another title. He went on to well, we watched that fight in here. He knocked out Maurice Hope a year later, and he beat Roberto Duran in the meantime. I mean, Wilfred Benitez, look at this action. And Benitez is ducking and dodging those punches. Great stuff. Angelo told Sugar Ray, go to the body. The body doesn't move. I can hear that rain coming down, man. Rainy out there, bro.
It's been horrible all day.
But I'll tell you, it's warm out there.
It's crazy. It's like 60.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. I mean, we're almost in December.
What if it stayed like and that's the end of the stoppage. Fight. That's the end of the fight, man. And the cops go running into the ring. Wilfred Benitez he just made himself $1.2 million, equivalent to $4.8 million by today's standards. So
43 years ago, Sugar Ray Leonard becomes a champion.
He becomes a champion, and and like we said earlier, it was just the beginning. He had an illustrious career. We saw so many different things from him, and that was the main event here. But the fight that most people talked about, most people are talking about, was the probably the worst decision that most of us have seen live, the most anticipated. We were waiting to see Marvin Hagler be coronated on this night. And
what a robbery! What a robbery! You know, I've never sat down to score the fight. I just know what I saw, and I've seen it. You know, since then. What can you say? It's boxing. Who's shocked at that? And that made Hagler. He hated Vegas ever since. And then, unfortunately, the way his career ended, it was in Las Vegas. It was another decision that's still talked about today, his fight with Sugar Ray. So this was supposed to be the night that Hagler and Leonard both became champions, and it only happened for one of them.
But remember, too, man, Marvin Hagler, he was what? How many fights was he? What was his record when he went? What was his record?
He had 49 fights. I think he was something like 46-3 going into that. 46. He was 46-2-1 going into that fight.
Yes. And
he had both losses. He avenged
38 knockouts.
Oh.
And Vito Antuofermo from Italy, residing in Brooklyn, former sausage grinder, tough as they come.
Oh yeah,
absolutely no style. Would just put his head on your chest and throw these unorthodox punches, hit ribs, kidneys, low blows, a lot of headbutts. And Vito had a reputation of being a bleeder.
Well earned.
As soon as they started playing the national anthem, Vito would need to be patched up, and he had a great cut, man.
You know, who I was looking at the whole entire card. Roger Leonard, Sugar's brother, fought on the undercard. He won a decision against some guy named Rudy Robles.
Rudy, yeah.
Tony Petronelli fought on the card too. One of the Petronellis, not that I think he was the younger brother of Hagler's trainers. He fought on the undercard as well.
Yeah, he was well known in New England.
Yeah, he's a tough
Rudy
fighter.
Robles was, he was a known fighter too. Roger Leonard, I saw him make his debut at the Providence Civic Center when Sugar Ray fought Floyd Mayweather Sr.
Oh wow.
So he didn't have the success. Hey, Con Charnery, how you doing, my brother? He didn't have the success that Ray had.
Right.
And then and Ray told him to retire. I can't remember the fight. I can't remember the fight that he told him to retire at, but he said, I'm going to take care of you. Sugar Ray Leonard, another one, generous to a fault, but it was what it was. And this fight, Marvin Hagler was denied the promoters. He couldn't get a promoter. He had to be forced on Bob Arum. Don King didn't want to touch him because he was a southpaw. He was black and he was good. And he had 3 strikes against him.
That's what Joe Frazier told him. Yep.
That's what Smoking Joe told him.
Yep.
And so he had to have his two state senators. That would be Teddy Kennedy and Tip O'Neill. They had to kind of threaten the WBC, I don't know what organization, but it was probably probably the both of them at the time. The IBF wasn't there. Threatened them with an IRA audit.
Just incredible that he never
IRS
got a title shot. Guys are getting title shots now. Their second fight. If you're an Olympian, you can get a title shot in your second fight as a pro. 49 fights before getting a title shot. It just you can't make this stuff up. It's the nonsense of boxing. You can't make it up.
William Old School, my brother. Shout out to you, AJ64. Thank you, cats, for coming in here, man. This is on the anniversary, the 43rd anniversary. I think George is about 43 too, so it's probably his birthday. Pretty much.
Hey, somebody in the chat said that I forget who said it. I'm scrolling back, but it made me smile because they said, "How does George remember that fight in '79? He looks like he's 21." So I'll take it. Oh yeah, George looks 21. Can't believe he remembers 1979. I'll take it. I'll take it, Joe. Joe said that. Thank you, Joe.
Joe's a nice guy, man. I put up the On This Day on my community page every day, and Joe's always there, giving me encouragement. Making it worthwhile, making me want to do it again tomorrow. And shout out to my brother Joe out there. Con Charnery says, "You look younger than he does," and I think Con Charnery's close to my age. But yeah, man, and once again, we'll look at this fight, man. We had Mills Lane as the referee, Dalby Shirley, Dwayne Ford, and Hal Miller as the officials. And one thing I read about this fight, and I remember when it ended too. Mills Lane, he went into Hagler's corner.
Yep.
And he said, "You face the cam. Congratulations." He said, "Face the camera, because I want to raise your hand when they announced the decision." And that went a draw, and it was, and we all know the champ wins when it's a draw.
Well, I think the one criticism that a lot of people had for Hagler is that he didn't keep his foot on the gas for the whole fight. And you score a fight by who wins more rounds. I don't care what he did. He won more rounds than Vito Antuofermo, clearly. But remember, when he fought Roberto Duran, and I think it was because Duran was his first big mega fight, Marvin, he was very tentative against Duran. It wasn't until the last 2 rounds that he really beat Duran from one end of the ring to the other, and he got the decision because it was close. So, what I've read about this Antuofermo fight, some people said, "Oh, he should have kept his foot on the gas." I don't care what he did. He didn't lose this fight. It wasn't a draw. It wasn't not. There's no way this fight was a draw, but it was because it's boxing and it's a circus. So it was a draw.
Unofficial scorers for the fight would be Associated Press and KO Magazine, and KO Magazine scored it 144-141 for Hagler, but Associated Press scored it 143, 142 for Antuofermo. So why don't we pull this fight up and watch it, and we'll leave it on, and we can still talk while it's going on, and we'll kind of judge for ourselves. We'll see how tough Vito the Mosquito was this night, and there's Chuck Hull.
There's my guy, and he's got the old school those undershirts with the ruffles that they used to wear with the tuxes. I love it, man. Look at Chuck.
Hey, that looks like I don't know if you ever been to Providence and Capriccio's restaurant, but that's what the waiters all look like when they bring you your pasta.
Love it.
Yep. So shout out to my boy AJ64 out there. Appreciate you here, man. George Jakovic, bro. I thought you were 31 years old.
Man, I'll take it.
I'm telling you, George. I think you got your fan club in here.
There he is. There's New Jersey's Marvin Hagler.
Mm-hmm. And I was talking to Sugar Ray Seals not long ago. When I went down to Palmyra, Pennsylvania, to a Legends weekend.
Right. Yeah.
Is too.
Hey, can Sugar Ray see? Is he?
Bro, I want to get him on the show. He had an operation. He's got a glass eye. One of his eyes is removed, but he can see out of the other one. And he is such a nice guy. 80 years old.
Wow.
I'm 74 years old. 70 years old. What am I? 70 years old. A couple of years older than I am. But he. Okay, now I thought that was me echoing back there. That's the this here, which that's how you get. So, but look, let's go back and just have a quick look at the tail of the tape once again.
Look at that.
Antuofermo 26, Hagler 27. I mean, it's almost identical, the tail of the tape. But Marvin Hagler had that one thing, man. He would stay outside.
Big reach advantage.
And he was a switch hitting southpaw. He was just an incredible fighting machine. And 27 years old, man. Look at these two cats in their prime.
And even Antuofermo looks like he's 36, but he was only 26. There's a sugar man in the locker room.
Trick Nolte, he went to New York a few months ago, and was it I can't remember the gym was it Stillman's gym? I don't remember the gym, but he said Vito comes in there every once in a while, and he didn't come in when Trick was there, but I mean, Vito's royalty once again. I'd love to talk to him. But here we go, man. The first round, 15 rounds for the undisputed, ladies and gentlemen, undisputed middleweight championship of the world. There are only two belts in the era. But Vito's corner, they said he had bronchitis during this fight too. He was his corner. I mean, he had Freddie Brown, his cut man.
Legend.
I think this was probably Vito's best fight too.
Yeah. Vito just, like you said, you talk about a style. He didn't really have a style. He came forward and he was a truth machine. If you showed any sign of weakness or if you didn't have stamina, he was going to get you out of there because Vito had a chin. He had a chin of granite. He cut just super easy.
He in this fight, let me see if I can find the exact numbers here. Okay. There were 6 cuts on Vito's face. 25 stitches would be required to sew those cuts up.
That was before the fight started, right? He bumped into some people on the ring walk, and he had 6 cuts before he got into the ring.
Well, Freddie Brown was trying to patch him up because Freddie thought that he had retained his title. Maybe some shaky goings on here. Who knows, man? We're talking about New York City fighters. We're talking about the days where, I'm going to give you an offer you can't refuse. I
mean, Vito, Italian fighter, who knows? It wouldn't shock. We've always said, Bruce, that what in boxing could ever shock you? If we found out that the judges were paid off in this fight, who's going to be shocked? We know that boxing is it is what it is, and it's a circus. There's nothing that can shock a boxing fan. Very few things, I should say, shock a boxing fan.
Nothing at all, bro. 86 Boxing, my brother. Thank you for coming by. C. Wood, man. Peace to you, my man. Thank you for coming in here, man. We're getting a little history lesson from my man George Jakovic, who now that I look at him, I think he might even be a reincarnation. Are you sure you weren't technically involved in this fight, George? Maybe working a little bit of the the sound. But
Man,
yeah,
look how smooth Marvin was, just pumping that jab out, and he was just good footwork. He was light on his feet, just and so relaxed.
yeah, he's definitely moving forward and backwards. He's got nice feints going on. He's throwing that right jab out. Then you see him switch, man. He switches right in the middle of combinations.
Yeah,
He
you couldn't even tell he switched. It was just that natural.
My brother Tony Boswell. I hope you're feeling better, man. If I hadn't heard anybody hasn't heard, I'm feeling 100% here, man. I tested negative for COVID today. And here we are, man. Here we are. Me and my brother George were watching the 43rd anniversary of one of the worst decisions in boxing history. Marvin Hagler vowed that he would never let his fights go to the judges after this. And I think Duran was the only one who went to the scorecards aside from Sugar Ray Leonard in his last fight.
I think you're right. Yeah.
He knocked them all out, man. And the Petronelli's giving Marvin his instructions at ringside. Look at how cool Marvin Hagler paying attention to Goody Petronelli. Cool as a cucumber.
Yep.
And here we go for the start of the second round. The first round, I'm going to call that first round a draw. I couldn't give anybody an advantage in that first round.
Close round. And a lot of judges, they try to stray away from scoring fights, scoring around even. I'd probably lean towards Hagler, but I couldn't argue with a 10-10 round.
I'm gonna have to keep score of this fight, George, so we can look at after the fight's over. We can see how we go here. So that fight, who are you gonna go for in that first round? I said a draw.
I'm gonna go Hagler 10-9.
Hagler 10-9. Well, I only got 3 spots here, so you're gonna have to make your own scorecard out. I'm terrible with this. I usually can't read my writing after I go to look at it anyway. So, but yeah, let's see who wins this fight. Let's see who we score it.
Boy, speaking of scoring fights, I don't have them anymore, but every weekend watching fights, sometimes it'd be 2, 3, 4 fights on a weekend on free TV. I would score the fights. I would write down the names of the fighters and score the fights. And this is before I knew who Harold Letterman was. I did that stuff, and I used to have a big, thick thing of them. And I don't know, somewhere along the line of the years moving, I don't have those anymore. So I wish I did.
You must have been a weird kid, George.
Well, maybe other people might have thought I was weird, but you would have said, man, this kid is going to be something one day. He's scoring fights. He likes boxing.
I would have said, come on, I'll give you a ride to school, kid.
Exactly.
Let's talk boxing.
Uncle Bruce, we're going to watch fights tonight?
Yes, we are. Do you have to even ask such a silly question?
Man, Antuofermo, he came into the ring and his eyes already looked swollen.
Mm-hmm. And Mills Lane with hair on his head too. That's a weird looking sight, isn't it?
I know. A little bit, but he's got hair. He's got hair on the side.
Yeah, he's got more than I had when I shaved mine. Hagler, nice left hook. But the thing I remember about watching this is Vito just never let up. He never looked dejected.
And as much as I thought Hagler won, you can't discredit Antuofermo because he just kept coming and never gave up, never settled never settled in to go 15. He was trying to win the fight. Just a tough dude, man.
Tough dude. Jeff Lucietta, salute my brother. Thanks for coming by, my man. I'm going to give that round to Hagler.
I'm going Hagler 10-9. Write that down.
So I've got that 1 round for Hagler, 1 round even. Vito hasn't won a round yet. Latanya, my sister, thank you for coming by. Cooking for the soul.
Cooking for the soul. I like that. I like the sound of that.
Oh, yeah. Good sister. Everybody in here, man. Anybody that's got channels, man, you can lay your link out here, man. And everybody, please sub to our fellow channel cats out here, man. This is what we do, and if nobody comes to see us, we're not going to be able to do it for much longer. So keep it up, keep us inspired, and we'll keep doing this. Here we go, the start of round 3, and Marvin Hagler constantly always on that front foot, going forward. Antuofermo flat-footed, plodding forward, tying up Hagler, but never not moving his hands. He's not just a grabber. He's always throwing elbows. He's throwing forearms, whatever it takes in there. Vito's gonna hit you when he's in a clinch.
Just pumping that jab, moving to his left, pumping that jab. Now he switches back. Just so smooth how he switched.
Really, these middleweights today? Can you imagine Marvin Hagler in that division today? What he would do with, what he would do with Mel Charlo? Mel Charlo would say, "Stop! Wait a minute! Stop! I'm not fighting this. I think he might even pull a no mas."
I just don't think he would even fight him. I don't think he would fight him.
And Triple G, come on. Now, Canelo and Marvin Hagler, what a dream fight that would be. I don't even like to play fantasy fights, man. But what? Oh man, that's the kind of fight that we almost can't wait to die and go to heaven to watch.
There's not many fights I would pick against Marvin at 160. Not many.
No, there isn't, man. Maybe a Sugar Ray Robinson.
Right. Yeah, like I said, definitely not many. Sugar Ray Robinson. And Marvin learned. He made mistakes in fights, like with Duran, and some say this fight, not putting his foot on the gas, but look what he did in the Hearns fight. The way he fought that fight. Maybe he made a tactical. I think he made a tactical mistake in the Leonard fight, and he should have fought him like he fought Tommy Hearns, but he didn't.
Hagler was an active fighter, and taking that year off after the tremendous fight with John the Beast Mugabe.
Yeah, that hurt him.
Yeah. And Marvin Hagler was also a 15-round fighter. That fight was 12 rounds, so he had to. I don't think he was thinking about the fight only going 12 rounds. He giving away the first 4 rounds is giving away the first third of the fight.
Yep.
The first quarter of the fight. It's just But right here was the any Hagler lover. They had to go out of their mind on this fight. Mad Chad, he was going to stop in tonight, but his son's got a basketball game, and his son is a spot-on shooter, man. His son George.
I've heard him talk about him.
Oh, if you have any connections with any colleges or even scouts, just take a look at Simon Chadbourne. I mean, this kid is he's one in a million. He's a blue chipper.
That's awesome. What? He's in high school?
He's in college.
He's in college. Okay.
He I think he plays with a it's a Division III, Division IV school, and his coach doesn't appreciate him. He doesn't get the playing time that he should. But I mean, he's the kind of guy where when that game's in the line and there's 10 seconds to go, who are they going to throw that ball to? He's that kind of player, cool under fire. This kid will throw 53 pointers in a row in there, man. Wow. I've seen it. It's just amazing. But that round is a Hagler round for me.
Me too. I've got Hagler pitching a shutout.
And here we go, the beginning of round 4. I've got it 2 for Hagler, 1 even, none for Vito. But look at how tough Vito is too, man. He's not taking a backward step. He's keeping his guard high. He's just putting his head down. and when Hagler stops moving, that's when Vito gets in there. No rest with this guy. I don't know if you saw his fight with Hugo Coro when he won the title.
I've only seen I've seen highlights of it.
It wasn't an exciting fight, and I didn't think he was going to beat Coro, but it was two guys that were mauling on the inside, and Vito was just a better mauler.
Yeah, and he didn't have a lot of power. It's not like his power bailed him out of fights.
No,
his power wasn't very good. His speed wasn't very good. His defense, but I mean, he had heart and determination, and look what it got him a world championship.
Mm-hmm.
It got him a world championship.
I would love to talk to Vito, and just reminisce on his career. I hope he's doing all right, man. I hope he's got enough money to survive. I guess he does if he's hanging out in New York and going to the gym.
I hope so. Ooh.
I was talking to Marlon. I didn't get on the show with Marlon, but I know Tim Witherspoon does a show every Sunday now, and he wants me on there with him. But this was the Sunday that I had the COVID, so I had to bow off. But he had Marlon Starling on there, who's another dude that I met, and Marlon is such a nice guy. But see, when Marlon fought Mark Breland, you know what his pay was? Take a guess, George.
For the first fight.
For the first fight.
And I know I'm going to be wrong, but here's what I think he should have gotten: at least 200 grand, 250 grand.
You're off by 240 grand. He was paid $10,000 for that fight.
Then he had some awful people representing him. Whoever his manager is should have never been able to manage a fighter.
Tim asked him if he was a millionaire, and he said, "Oh no." And then he started explaining the purses that he made. He took that fight for something that fighters today don't think about. He took it for legacy, not currency. And
well, yeah, a title shot is a title shot, and he took it, but he certainly, I mean, that's what sickens me about the sport. $10,000 for a guy, again, all these fighters risk their lives and their future, because we know all these fights add up and it does damage. So I hate, you hear about that all the time, but it pisses me off when I hear things like that.
I think I would give that round there to Vito. Vito did some good mauling on me.
You know what? I'm gonna go Vito, because I'm gonna look like an idiot having it, 149, like 140 for Hagler. So, but it was a close round.
I scored the third Norton and Ali fight, the fight at Shea Stadium a few weeks back, and I had Yankee Stadium. Was it Yankee? Okay, Yankee Stadium. And I had Norton a clear winner.
Did you really?
I think I only gave Ali 5 rounds in that fight.
Wow.
No, I mean, we were watching it again. Norton was beating him up. Ali's face was a magnet for that right hand. He just was.
Ali was so damaged at that point, and a lot of people scored it like you, Bruce. I've never scored it. I just, I've seen the fight, but you're not the only one that thought Norton won a pretty clear decision.
Looks like Vito's got a little more life in him in this round. Oh, just missed that sweeping right, but see him coming in.
But Hagler punishes him too. A lot of times Hagler hits him with these short little uppercuts when he's coming in, and they're not really eye-catching, but they're just short, compact shots.
I see Larry Holmes at ringside. I see Richie Giacchetti.
Oh yeah.
I bet Sylvester Stallone is there too. He was always at ringside. Usually had that big wide collar. Must be some tape hanging, some tape hanging off Hagler's glove. Mills Lane, sharp as they come, right to the corner. Boom, boom. Continue fighting. There's Tip O'Neill, the man who made this fight possible.
Yep.
He's sitting with Teddy Kennedy.
The fruit of his labor got him a title shot, and then he ends up not getting the title.
But he learned a lesson, and he made some very, very historic sayings in this, and that was, man, from now on, these will be my judges.
Mm-hmm.
And I like when you can quote some boxer and right away nobody even has to think twice about it. That's what Marvin Hagler said.
Yeah.
Hey, I think maybe we're going to do a show one of these nights. We're going to get quotes by famous boxers, like you can run but you can't hide, things like that. And,
Yeah, that'd be cool. So there's a lot of them, so that's a whole show for sure.
Okay, and you're going to have to be on camera, and we're not going to let you go look in your phone for the answer. 10 seconds, and it's a timed out. Not even 10 seconds. It should come off the top of your head if you're anything like. Well, anything like me, but unfortunately, my memory's so shot, as we all know. But anyway, man, here we're getting back to the fight here. Staying in the ring center, and Vito's trying to crowd him in. Vito hitting him behind the head. Hagler returns the favor. Mills Lane's got a lot of work to do here. Nice combination by Vito on the inside. Another one, man. If he had a little power, I think he would have put a little hurting on Hagler in that exchange. And Vito throwing those shoulders. Hagler says, "You want to mix it up? You want to play tough? Come on, man, let's go." Oh, my girlfriend! I told her stay out of here. Somebody blast them, please. Well, they will. People love to be the first one to blast the girls for XYZ.
Oh, that's my sponsor, Bruce. I'm sorry. I should have told you they were coming in. That's my sponsor, Girls for XYZ. So thank you, Girls for XYZ, for all the love and support.
Let me give him a wrench so nobody bothers him. I wonder if anybody's done that by mistake here. Oh, I didn't want that to happen.
It's a pretty close round there, Bruce.
Pretty close round. You want to call that one even, or you want to give that to Hagler? I would. I give that one to Vito. I'm sorry.
I gave it to Vito. I got Marvin up 3-2 right now.
I got the fight tied. Two rounds for Hagler, 2 rounds for Vito, 1 even.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe there's watch us both scored for Antuofermo.
Dick Justice, shout out, brother. How you doing, man? Well, Associated Press did it according to the article that I was just reading, and Hal Miller had it 143, and Dwayne Ford scored it for Hagler 145-141. Dalby Shirley 142-140. Excuse me, Dalby Shirley 142-144 for Antuofermo, and Dwayne Ford 145-141 for Hagler. But Hal Miller had it as a draw, so it goes down as a draw. A lot of controversy in this fight. The majority of people, even absolutely to this day, Hagler won. But I think when you're watching it at ringside here, we're seeing how tough old Vito the Mosquito is. Hey, Derek Clark, how you doing, my bro? Thanks for coming by, man. Classic fight, just like the old days over here. We're watching Marvin Hagler, Vito Antuofermo, the first fight. One of the most disputed draws in boxing history here. And Vito with some headbutts inside.
Hagler caught him with a lot of short shots.
Yep. I'm watching it right now. Uppercuts, little hitting him to the body with the check left hook.
Hands are free and he just keeps punching. Oh.
Just like hitting his head like a speed bag.
And then right back to the jab, pumping out that jab. And see, he's fighting. He just switched. He was just fighting as a righty, and he just smooth as butter. He just switched to southpaw.
Just like you said, smooth as, but he just did it again, smooth as butter.
So you just didn't know where the punches were coming from.
What an inside combination Hagler just unloaded.
This is a really good Hagler round here.
Yeah, it sure is.
Now, Bruce, what I remember because they did have a rematch at some point after this, and I think Antuofermo got he got his eyebrows supposedly shaved down, or the eye bone, so he wouldn't cut, and he cut worse in that second fight than he did in the first one. Like the eye bone shaved down. I
had Troy Dorsey on the show, George, and Troy Dorsey went under that operation.
Did he really? Did it help him?
He bled. He really didn't say it was anything big, but I remember at the time in the early '80s, the late '70s, it was revolutionary. They were even advertising it in Ring magazine. Bobby Ches had it done. Iran Barkley had it done. I met Iran Barkley too, George. What another nice guy, man.
Yeah.
We got to get him on here, bro.
Well, it certainly didn't help Antuofermo in that second Hagler fight.
No.
Because he bled just worse than ever in that fight. Because right now, Antuofermo's busted up, but he's not bleeding. It doesn't look like he's bleeding too bad right now.
Freddie Brown, excellent cut, man. He's plugging a leak in that Titanic to see if he can get through the night.
Man, this was a dominant Hagler round right here.
Oh, yes, for sure.
And look, he's not even breathing.
Nope.
6 rounds in the books.
Listening to his corner, breathing like just like I am sitting on the couch over here. Con Shornery says Antuofermo was a hell of a punching bag. Yeah. He was a punching bag who punched back. That was the problem.
Yeah, you don't win a title by being a punching bag, but I get what Con's saying.
I get it. Yeah. Well, right now Hagler, this is 27 years old. That's when a fighter reaches his peak, especially back in the 80s, 70s and 80s. Oh, he just nailed Antuofermo coming in. Antuofermo looked like he had to hold on a little bit. He's not pretty, but he's effective.
And so watching this, like I'm thinking of all these names of Bruce. I'm telling you, I wish we lived closer so I could show you these posters. There's bad Benny Briscoe posters. Oh man. All right, I'll think about this fight, but I think Christmas happened yesterday.
I think one round with George Jakovic would be a great time to just spread those out in your man cave there and have your daughter kicking back with the camera so she can follow your orders. Man, you could put a nice little production together, bro.
That's a great idea, and I'm gonna take full credit
I'm the
for
idea,
it.
man.
I'm gonna take full credit for it too. No, that's a great idea. Khan says Hagler looks fresh as a daisy, and it's the 7th round. Yep, not breathing. Hagler, I mean, everyone knows the kind of, he would put himself away in like a prison camp training.
Oh, bro,
I
went to his training camp when he was training at the Provincetown Inn. I saw him spar with Buster Drayton.
The late Buster Drayton.
The late who just passed away days ago. I mean, he was beating up sparring partners. He had a fighter by the name of Don Lee. He was a tall. You remember Don Lee?
Yeah.
He was down there, and man, I got Hagler's blood splattered on my T-shirt. It was that not Hagler's blood, Don Lee's blood, Buster Drayton's blood. Hagler just beat him up, and then he ran the dunes at 7 a.m. People say he did it at 5 a.m, but nah, he waited till the sun rose so he wouldn't break his ankle. But he would invite anybody from the hotel that wanted to run the dunes with him. That was back in the day where 10 o'clock was an early day for me back then. But yeah, here we go, man. I can see them doing a lot of back and forth going here. I can't give Hagler the advantage just yet in this round, and it's 22 seconds to go, and it's a close round. But Vito's coming forward, landing nice punches. Oh, Hagler with those short. He's just always constantly moving his hands.
Yep.
Vito's trying to hang on. Hagler, bang, a 3-piece.
Well, I'm giving another round to Marvin. I thought he won that round.
So yeah, so did I. And there's Victor Galindez.
Wow.
Like you said, they're in New Orleans, Argentina. And Victor Galindez, he gets stopped in this fight by Marvin Johnson too, I believe.
Yep, he does. I think 11th round, 10th or 11th round.
Caesar's Palace.
And I think that's when the light heavyweights.
They ruled.
Oh.
that you had Matthew Franklin, you had Kwawi, you had Rossman, you oh man, Eddie Gregory,
Eddie Mustafa,
yes.
just Rossman, just
I loved the light heavyweights back then,
mm.
and they fought frequently. There's Wilfred Benitez got his eyeball shielded from the bright lights. I could never see how a fighter could actually take a little nap before.
There's my man.
And he looks all focused in, ready to go.
And who knew in 8 years and 9 years, 9 years he was going to fight 8 or 9 years he was going to fight Hagler from this date. 8 years.
And what Sugar Ray Leonard made for his debut is what Marvin Hagler was making here for his first title shot, $40,000.
It's not fair, but there's not much fair in boxing.
No, and you know this was a time where we weren't pocket watchers. We didn't care what they made. Right. I don't think they cared what they made. Like when I just told you about Marlon Starling only getting $10,000 to fight Mark Breland. Mm-hmm. If that was today, can you imagine the explosion on social media? Look at what Vito's having his moments here.
Well, in talking about that, someone asked about Regis Prograis. I'm sure you heard the same thing. Supposedly he cashed his check and it bounced.
I heard today. I heard that Fight TV, these promotions are just popping up in there.
Marv Nation, who, I was listening to Drew Titan, and he was talking about them, and lo and behold,
I'm blocked over there. Clear. I can't go to Drew's anymore, George. He blocked me. Took my wrench away and blocked me because I go everywhere, man. I love boxing. When I'm a YouTuber, man. When I get up in the morning, I turn my page on, and if it's boxing, I want to hear what you're saying. And sometimes I hear some great stuff on channels, and I don't know, man. You know, some people don't like me, some people don't like them, but hey, that's the way it is, man. You know, yeah. I've said it a million times, George. If I was out with you in a bar and somebody gave you shit, I'd beat them. I'd knock their head off. But if they're gonna play with you on YouTube, go back and forth, I'm just gonna sit back and laugh, man. This is not the real world. But some people don't feel like that. And hey, man, if I'm that important, I'm liberated now. But I'm over here with my buddy George Jakovic, and we're watching a great fight. And we don't care what anybody thinks about us. Well, I don't anyway anymore, man.
No.
I mean, anyway, I got real people who I deal with, especially now after we just come through this COVID thing, man. You know, I found out who the real ones are, my family and my friends.
And look, we're just, I'm not getting caught up in any drama. We're talking boxing, and we're having a good time, and we talk to who we want to talk to, and that's it.
That's it, man. That's it. You know, everywhere I go, people respect me. Sometimes it flatters me. You know, they moderate me on their channels first time I'm in there, and hey, Bruce Gass, shout out the OG, man. You forgot more than half of these guys know on this panel. And you know,
hey, listen, you're dropping as we're talking. I hope people are listening. You saw Marvin Hagler in the flesh, in person. You not only were at, I think you said you were at his fight, but you were in his training camp. You saw him up close and personal. I never met the man. I've only read about him and seen these. You were in his presence. So there's a lot to learn from anybody who loves the sport.
He told me he was training for Fulgencinco Oba Mejimas, Julio Bell. And I said, what's going to happen, Marvin? He goes, fully in 4. Fully in 4. I don't know if it was in 4. I can't remember now. But
wait, pause the fight for a second because we didn't talk about that last round. Did we have to score? I didn't pay attention like I should have, so I'm erring on the side of Antuofermo. I thought it was a close round.
I'll agree with you on that one. So I've got this fight 4-3 and 1 even. We're coming into the
I've got it 5-3 right now.
Round. Oscar Prince Boomtang. Oscar Oscar Bonavina, whatever your name is, bro, you're more than welcome in here, man. I appreciate you in here, man. I appreciate everybody in here, man.
What do you mean you appreciate everyone? You banned me for like a month.
Well,
you let me back in. You let me back in, Bruce.
I'm under that. I have this gift that God gave me. It's called forgiveness, bro. You know, I don't hold a grudge to anybody. You know, I anything short of killing me or a member of my family, or you know, bro, this is just such funny stuff that I love watching it. And here we go, man. We're in the ninth round over here.
Man, Hagler, what a jab he had.
Throwing that right jab out there with power, snapping it out there.
I'll tell you though, Vito is no Benitez in there, but he doesn't get hit with everything. He was able to make Hagler miss quite a few shots.
And he comes back. In this round, he's coming back with some nice counter punches.
Yeah.
He looks like he's got Hagler on the back foot for a little bit here, man. I think Hagler thought he was gonna put him away, a little bit earlier. Now I think he's realizing he's in there with a little bull.
Man, 15 rounds is a long fight, man. It's only the 9th round, so they still have 6 rounds to go after this. But that's what they train for, so it was no surprise.
I always watch boxing, and I expected anything. When they said 15 rounds, I've heard many fighters say, I'm not gonna knock him out. I'm gonna beat him up for 15 rounds. I'm gonna make him look bad, win a decision. Very even round. Hagler was that. It's got that nice jab, straight left that he finishes with. Nice pumps that double jab. Comes with the overhand left. You see Marvin Hagler constantly switching around too. He just had beautiful. He's fighting unorthodox, then he goes back to orthodox.
And just jabbing. Whatever stance he was in, he was always leading with that jab. I thought it was a close run. I thought Hagler won it. I'm going Hagler 10-9 in that round.
I have to go Hagler just for that smooth last minute. Look at Vito's face. Oof.
Oh, now look at that. Just, oof. But the blood. I mean, he's bloody, but it's not.
It's
all
not
over the place.
I don't need a ringside doctor in there.
Right.
I have to just bring this back for just a second here, because they were just talking about a fight that they're going to have on the it said next Thursday on Wide World of Sports, junior lightweight. I'm trying to think who.
Oh, I missed that.
Let's go find that. We can wait the 8 seconds. We'll see who scrolled across there. Okay. Yeah, Vito looks like he's been in a motorcycle accident there. Just a lot of road rash. Oh,
exactly. I was going to say, it looks like road rash just all over his face.
Okay, here we go. NAB. Oh, damn it, man.
Oh, you know what? But it was a versus fight. It was fighters I never. It wasn't an ABC. I didn't even recognize the names on that.
All right, well, you'll have to catch it on the replay.
Marvin Hagler still not breathing.
Joe Louis.
Yep.
Joe Louis sitting back there, man, with the cowboy hat on. Wow. He died the next year, 1980.
Wasn't he working as a greeter for Caesar's Palace at this point?
Yeah, he was, man. This is so nostalgic. Can you imagine the legends in this sitting at ringside here?
God, Joe Louis is there. It doesn't get any more legendary than that.
No, sir. Chris Court, bro. Shout out to you, my man. Thanks for coming by, bro. They're both landing on the inside here. Hagler a little more on the outside, but they're
Bruce, 10 rounds, and there's still, after this round, you still got a third of the fight left.
Nobody's taken a round off yet. Nobody's taken a round off. It's been constant action.
Hagler righty to lefty.
And Vito just chasing him around the ring. Hagler, when he's boxing on the outside like that, Vito doesn't have a chance. Vito's got to come in and maul.
Look at Hagler. I mean, Hagler he switched 5 or 6 times in like 30 seconds.
That's just that's just amazing. You just don't see that anymore from anybody.
He just had that distinct style that was his. Just the way Hagler rolled his shoulders and his head, the way he moved, the way he bounced.
Yeah, he's clearly in charge in this round. And Vito sloppy punches, but they're landing. Mills Lane trying to slap those gloves away from keeping him from holding. And Hagler's got such great balance, even when he misses.
Oh, he just landed a left hook. But Vito just, what a great chin.
Tough as nails. And I said many times this was his best showing, even in the draw. Even though we say he lost the fight, we'll see once we score it. But Hagler is just at his best. So is Vito. This couldn't have been a better co-main event for this card.
What a card! This is the sitting down, and this is the first fight you get on the telecast. Come on, man! And this could have, a pay-per-view today. This fight would have been a pay-per-view. Leonard Benitez would have been a pay-per-view, separate pay-per-views, and they fought on the same card.
And they would have even put Galindez and Marvin Johnson as a pay-per-view.
You know what? Today they sure would have. That's 3 pay-per-views we got in one night.
Oh man, this is why I'm spoiled. This is why people look at me like an old jaded man with boxing. Man, this is what I grew up with.
Yes.
This is happening every weekend, bro. Another round for Marvin Hagler.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I mean, this was the norm. This wasn't the exception. This was what it was, man. You went out, had dinner, and you went to a bar or you went home, and this was right on there for you, and everybody in the joint was into it. And at my house, where people knew, come on over here because he's got the weed, he's got the beer, he's got the knowledge. This was the place to go to watch boxing back in the day. In fact, he's even got the dog. You can take him for a walk if you're bored between rounds. And Marvin Hagler is once again, but Vito, man, I just can't. I can't just give Hagler these rounds. I can see how people who like that mauling style and Lord knows maybe they like Italians. Who knows what? But Vito was in this fight the whole way.
Hey, who's Chris Court?
I don't know why. What's he saying out there?
I mean, I'm not going to get emotionally involved. But
let Chris Court talk out there, man.
Hagler isn't even that good. Okay.
He can have your opinion. Okay, Chris, man, you're showing your boxing IQ here, brother. Glad you made it. Thanks for the view. Stick around, bro. We're the short bus gang over here tonight if you're here, bro. Well, we appreciate that, man. But if you think Triple G would beat Marvin Hagler, you can't argue with fantasy fights because who knows, man? Maybe he would have. We'll never know.
I've got a 7-3.
I don't drop links, Chris.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hear it anyway, to be honest. Yeah, this is your show, Bruce. So.
No, I don't do it, man. I've done it before, and I just I don't like talking over people. I don't like people talking over me, and if I don't have you here, Mad Chad here, I just do it myself, bro. Maybe some other show I'll have an open panel. Hey, BK, my brother, how you doing, you sausage?
I got a 7-3 Hagler after 10. So
I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got a 6, 3, and 1 after 10. And right here, man, we're watching a kind of like a repeat here, but Vito looks like he's coming in, weaving and bobbing. Hagler's not expecting that. And Vito's also looks like he's doing some headbutting in here.
Head-butting, shoulder butting.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he made Hagler miss just enough. Like he just missed a big right. This isn't a bad Antuofermo round. Oof.
Oh, but Hagler says, "Oh yeah."
Marvin didn't like that. He didn't like it. He didn't like me saying that.
No, he didn't, man. And that right hook.
But then the last like 20 seconds, it's almost all Hagler. So,
But
I can't give that round. I can't give it to Antuofermo. I mean, it was. I can't.
I'm going to give that to Vito.
I can't do it.
And Freddie Brown is definitely earning his money tonight. Yeah, a draw is one of the it's one of the ugly things in boxing. You know the old saying, it's like kissing your sister.
Yeah.
And man, this one hurt. This one hurt for Marvin Hagler.
A draw is only good for the few people who bet the fight to be a draw. Those are the only people happy with a draw.
Vito made his pension on this fight. He got the I didn't know. I just saw there. I just saw Tony Danza.
Oh man, former fighter.
Yeah, former fighter.
Former fighter Tony Danza.
Yep.
12th round. So this would be the final round today.
This would be the final round today. Yes, it would, man. And Hagler actually saw it happen in his career. A lot of fighters did, man. They're 15-round fighters. Larry Holmes was like, "Oh, this is going to be a cakewalk here, man." Oh, beautiful combinations by Hagler. It's almost like he's switching in the middle of a combination.
I know.
An overhand left and an overhand right, and they're just right down the pike. Just incredible stuff. Yeah, the business of boxing, man. It's today we're just so involved in that with the internet. What do we? The Danny Dubois fight that he beat Trevor Bryant. That check bounced 6 times before Don King finally covered it.
Yeah, come on. The guy wins a title, best night of his life, cashes his check, and a few days later he finds out there's insufficient funds. And what is Marv Nation like? Who are they fronting for? Because
well, we have that BLK, who's paying Bud Crawford $10 million.
I did the math on that too. It's $40 for that pay-per-view, so they would have to do 250,000 buys just to pay the minimum that they're supposed to pay Crawford. So either that check is going to bounce, although he says he's already been paid half of it up front, or there's just some big money behind it and they just want to make a splash, and the finances don't matter to them. Because it's not going to do 250,000.
I'll see you later, sister. Thank you for coming in. Go ahead, Joy. Sorry, I didn't want to neglect one of our loyal listeners out there, man.
No, you never want to do that. But
especially when women non-boxing fans come in there and spend an hour with us. That's great,
That's amazing.
I don't know if she's a boxing fan or not, but I've been on the channel. I've never heard boxing on there. But I appreciate you in here in a boxing room tonight, man. Thank you so much, sister. And here we go, man. Hagler's throwing some wide hooks on the outside. Vito's holding his hands.
Who's giving this round? And what I miss here? Who's giving this round to Antuofermo? Because I'm not.
Yeah, I'm going to say Hagler. I'm going to give this round to Hagler again myself.
But I feel bad for Rougarou for not getting paid, and I think other fighters, their checks bounce too. That it's amateur hour. It's like
I didn't pay much attention to that. I'm sure tomorrow when I do my morning diligence, I'll get a little bit into that and find out what I think is going on. But it's like you said, it's unregulated. These promotional companies can get in there. They can find a state that's as corrupt as they are, license a fight, and and it's all an app world today. You get that app out there. You sell your subscriptions, and who knows where the money goes. Here we go, man. The fateful 13th round, meeting in center ring. Vito looks like he knows he's behind. It looks like he wants to chalk up some points over here. Let's see if Marvin Hagler is going to have the skills to keep him away and keep tattooing that face.
I mean, I'm really paying attention here because I've got Hagler up by a substantial amount right now.
Mm-hmm.
And is he blasting him out? No, I think a lot of the rounds are close, but I think they're clearly Hagler rounds. But Antuofermo always lands some shots.
Well, Hagler learned that lesson in this fight. Las Vegas is not friendly to Marvin Hagler. The judges will not decide the fate. This is the beginning of Marvin, the knockout champion. And look at Vito. Looks like he's doing okay at the beginning of this round. I'm going to give Vito the first third of this round. And Vito looks like he's outscoring Hagler in this round. Let's see if Hagler will. Vito won the first half of that in my books. Let's see if Hagler's going to come back in the second half.
Yeah, see, Vito lands some shots, man.
Oh, Vito just landed a nice shot there. Vito's moving his hands now. He's starting to make Hagler.
He just motioned to Hagler. Said, "Come on." See, look at Vito. He's like, "Come on, come to me, so I can hit you."
Oh, and he just landed a nice.
Vito's having a good round, and I don't know if it's Hagler just taking a round off because it's a long fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, man. He's one of those guys, Antuofermo. He's truth serum. He's not going to let you, like Hagler's trying to take a round off. He's not going to let you take a round off.
No, he is definitely a dog. Sean is right there, bro.
Yeah, because Antuofermo's tired too, but he's not letting Hagler breathe.
I'll tell you, is Vito an overachiever or what?
I mean, look, you know what? For the cool thing about him is forever he's a champ. So he overachiever, underachiever. I mean, he certainly, again, he wasn't the fastest. He didn't have the most power, but he had other qualities that got him a title.
For the skills that he had, the talent that he had, he made the best of it. He became an undisputed middleweight champion of the world, defended against Marvin Hagler. Bro, he's in the New York Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's going to be in Canastota ever, but man, Marvin Hagler is. So I want to give that round to Vito.
I actually saw Hagler take a deep breath. He took one deep breath.
I got 7 rounds to Hagler, 5 rounds to Vito, and 1 round even. And here we go. We're getting ready for the start of the.
I got it 9-4 Hagler.
Here we go, man. The start of the 14th round. And Vito, look at Vito's. He looks like he must have got the black bottle there. Is Panama Lewis in his corner or what?
I just watched that the other day.
Well, and Vito was training in Stillman's. He was in that area where Panama was. He was rocking Louis Resto. You know, he was crushing up those antihistamines and putting them in the water bottle.
That was the Wild West, man, back then.
Mm-hmm. Like it's not now, George.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the circus. I love it. I love boxing, but it's the circus, man. What can you say?
We love boxing. You know?
And boxing loves no one.
We're like those professional wrestling fans, but don't you know it's fixed? Yeah, I know it's fixed, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And there we are, man. Vito is stealing some of these rounds due to Hagler's inactivity. He's just moving his punches.
I've got Hagler up so much though. Like, there's no way on my card, Antuofermo's needed a knockout for a couple of rounds, and Hagler's banging him around pretty good right now.
Yeah, he is. Well, that's the thing, man. Even though maybe the volume of punches is equal, Hagler has the more effect with his punches. He's affecting Vito more, making that head snap back, making that sweat fly, where it seems like Vito is just swatting. But I wonder if what the punch count was in this fight. They had to be throwing.
I couldn't find it. I looked for. It's got to be somewhere. Because I think CompuBox has gone back.
Hagler just looked like Vito just went back on his heels.
He sure did. It looked like he staggered him.
Mm.
I couldn't find CompuBox numbers for this fight. But look, he comes right back. Antuofermo comes right back. But I think Hagler's, I mean, again, Vito's landing his shots, but Hagler's really laying it on him in this round. I thought for the first time, he stunned him.
Let's see how he closes the round out.
Hagler's not jabbing as much for sure.
Vito's landing some nice punches on the inside, but Hagler, every time he throws punches, it looks like he's making Vito wince, and he's just so much crisper, so much more accurate. And that's a Hagler round. Here we're going into the 15th and final round.
And Hagler's right eye is a little swollen. Probably, but I don't know if it's from Vito's head or his fists. I'm gonna guess that it's his head.
I would think so too, man. On the right eye like that, I don't think Vito has the power in that left hand to bust Hagler open.
For a bleeder, his face held up pretty good for this fight.
Yeah. I thought there would be more of a crimson mask on there myself. Yeah. Definitely holding up nicely. Hey, Peter Von Ox, how you doing, my brother? I didn't even see you in here, man. See, I'm trying to pay attention to the fight, but I have to look at the chat. I definitely want to look at the chat. I can only imagine these guys that have 300 people in their chat room, and they're trying to look at everybody in there. But here we go, man. The 15th round, and Vito is bit the bullet over here, and Hagler's, oh yeah, you bite the bullet. I'm going to show you what it's all about. Man, look at this round. Great stuff here, man. Great stuff. Vito's not taking a backward step. He's absorbing some serious punches in this fight, in this round in particular, man. Marvin Hagler is, I got you. Look at that! Wow, an 8 combination.
I mean, Hagler, the last few rounds, definitely he's not jabbing as much, and he's going toe to toe, which really is not the best game plan.
No, you don't brawl with a brawler.
No. he's just
Nice.
matching Vito like punch for punch.
And those uppercuts are really doing a job on Vito in this round. When Hagler side, either hand, right or left. Oh, yeah, that overhand right. No, this man has got a tool chest, and he uses every one of them.
Yeah, I agree with Khan. Like Antuofermo, definitely. There's nothing. He wasn't a hard puncher to begin with, but there's nothing on his punches. But he's still throwing them, and he's still landing.
That's Mint is the one who took the title from Vito.
Yep.
Oh, nice combination by Vito. Nice inside work by Marvin Hagler. But Vito does not stop. He does not show any signs of resignation. I mean, he's going out like a true champion here. Like I said, man, what an overachiever who actually could win the undisputed middleweight title with the limited skills that he has. And he just did the most with what he had. And he didn't try to be pretentious. He was just a slugger with no power, fans around their feet. They've been treated to a masterpiece. I think they think they're seeing the coronation of Marvin Hagler. Oh, beautiful overhand right by Hagler to end the fight. Another round for Hagler. And this is it, man. Watch Mills Lane come over to Marvin Hagler and tell him to turn and face the camera. Vito's got his hands up. Vito thinks he retained his title. He knows something we don't know. And Vito's face, he doesn't look that much bad for the wear, and he needed 25 stitches in that face. Dude, is that Panama Lewis? I think it is.
Ooh, that's a good. I don't know. Look at Marvin.
Oh yeah, Marvin's ready to get those belts.
I gave the last round to Antuofermo against my better judgment. I had it 145-140 for Marvin. So I had it 10-5.
I have it.
Could have been 11-4.
5, 6, 7, 8. I've got it 9 for Hagler. I've got it 5 for Vito, and I've got it 1 even. In fact, let's
And Chuck Cole appears ready. Good effort. Good clean fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. Judge Dalby Shirley scored 144, 142, and Antuofermo.
Wow.
Scored 145, 141, Marvin Hagler.
Yeah, that was Panama Lewis, by the way. You were right.
143 Hagler, 143 Antuofermo.
Ooh.
The decision is a draw. Antuofermo is killed.
Ooh.
Wow, this pro Antuofermo crowd, even they seem stunned.
Ooh.
And Marvin Hagler can't believe it. Quite frankly, I can't believe it. It's a draw. Antuofermo keeps The World's Middleweight Championship.
Vito's a happy man.
Never saw a guy so happy after a draw.
Rounds, Antuofermo didn't do much. It'd be hard-pressed to find more than 2 rounds in which he did enough to win a round. Even by his own corners.
Even by George Djokovic's card, man.
But he gets the draw and keeps his championship.
Wow. Yeah, he did. He did not win that fight. I'm sorry.
This Palace in Las Vegas.
As tough as he was, he did not win that fight.
No, he didn't, man. And, you know, that's why, George, you and I, 43 years later, we can show this fight, and the outcome still shocks people out there.
Yeah, Vito was tough, and he won a few rounds. He landed some shots. And here's the sick thing is that he had Panama Lewis in his corner. Panama Lewis is forever stained for what he did, and he's just left a black mark with everyone he's ever worked with. So who knows what he was giving Vito in the corner? You know, but that being said, Marvin Hagler won that fight, and he should have the night Sugar. That should have been something that tied them together. They both became champions for the first time on the same night, and because of boxing politics, we didn't see it. But in the end, didn't really hurt Marvin. Didn't hurt him.
Not at all. Not at all. It didn't tarnish his legacy.
Nope.
Any boxing fan could see it for what it is, and they're not going to they're not going to cry about it. We saw the rematch happen. We saw Marvin Hagler's amazing coronation in England, where they pelted him with bottles. He didn't even have a chance to take the belts in the ring. He had to accept him in the dressing room, and then he had to hide his way out of England. It was a crazy career of Marvin Hagler, man. You know, I'm grateful that I'm blessed that I got to see it. I got to meet Marvin Hagler. I got to see him sparring. I got to see him. I saw him at Providence Civic Center when he fought Wilfred Benitez for the vacant IBF title. Man, you know.
You're right. He had some tough moments, like this fight. You know, the fight with Sugar Ray. Even when he won the belt, like you said, throwing bottles at him, he couldn't really celebrate like a champion and get his belt. But in the end, he's a great fighter, one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen in my lifetime. And again, you met him. Like I love to hear that you met the man, you talked to him, you were in his training camp. So
I met him on 3 separate occasions.
Yeah, that's
after he won the title, he was in the 4th of July parade in my hometown.
That's everything, man. That's everything.
And I went up to him and I got a nice handshake with him. I had eye contact. My wife had the picture and she destroyed it. She was pissed at me. And then, like I said, we went to see him and train in Provincetown, and it was pre-cell phone days.
Yeah.
We didn't even bring a camera with us. It wasn't.
Yeah. Who thought to bring? I mean, in hindsight, you wish you had a camera.
Yeah.
But you have the memories, and you can tell us about it. But when I hear that stuff, that's what I love, because again, I've only read about him and watched his fights a million times and saw him fight live, but you met him live.
Well, I'll tell you the third time I met him live. It was at his brother Robbie Sims was fighting at the Providence Civic Center. And I was sitting right behind Lou Duva, Dan Duva, Shelley Finkel, Marvin Hagler, and the Petronelli brothers.
Wow.
Robbie Sims was I forget who he was fighting. I'm sure I could look it up in a second. But Marvin Hagler was on his feet. And the poor bastard who was behind Hagler, what are you going to say? Sit down? Hagler was throwing punches. He was hooking, bobbing, weaving. He was sweating after that fight.
You're going to say nothing if you're sitting behind. You're going to say nothing. I'm
going to say, Mr. Hagler, Bruce Gash, you remember me down at camp, man? It's like, wow, I'm sure you don't remember me, man, but I remember. He goes, I remember you, brother. I remember you. And, he was just a great guy. I mean, the day he died,
Man, I still can't believe it. Like, you don't think, I said this to you before, Marvin Hagler, he looked like Superman. Like, it looked like he couldn't be hurt. And you always think, even when he got older, you could see him changing. But to me, like, I saw him as a kid in his prime, and you saw him in his prime. You don't think those guys are ever going to die almost. I mean, you know, the reality of life is death, but you don't think that someone like Marvin Hagler is going to. And he was so young. It just...
Yeah, no, he's 66 years old. Same year I was born. I couldn't, and my best friend died that same day.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
Even I start thinking about it now, and I get all fucking lumped up and everything. But man, you know, it just kind of makes us realize our mortality, and we get to see these guys as they were then, and we look at our friends and at these legends. Dude, when I was at that Legends meet and greet 2 weeks ago, and man, too many to even start naming, but
it was like being in heaven, I'm sure. Honestly, like to see those guys, those fighters in the flesh.
It might have been the greatest day of my life.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Look, you saw how I got from a box of posters. You were in the presence of these guys, and you got to talk to them, shake their hands, and hug them, and
I got some phone numbers. I got some commitments to come on with us. And man, boxing is so beautiful, George. I would have never met you without boxing. I would have never met Mad Chad. I would have never met any of my brothers out here that I, you know, I meet you. You know, this is I see you. I see you in the chat. I see you every day. I look forward to seeing you in the chat. If you're not here, I wonder what's up, man. I wonder if, you know, if you're sick. You know, I wonder if you died, because you know, life is fleeting.
You never know. Yeah, I mean, you never know. You know, we've all had people die, and you talk about Marvin Hagler. Who thought that Marvin Hagler was going to die at 66, when every time you saw him, he aged like everyone else, but he was still a marvelous Marvin Hagler, you know? Like, he's not going to die at 66.
A friend of mine, his brother was partners in a sports bar down in Foxborough. It was called Doc and Nelly's. It was Steve Nelson and who the hell was the Doc? Anyway, it was a couple of former Patriots players and my buddy's brother. And my buddy used to tend bar there during the day because he didn't want to work the crazy shifts and stuff. But you know, he was an older cat, a little older than me. And he calls me up one day and he says, "Oh, Chief." I said, "What's up, Peter?" He says, "You never guess who's in the bar." He says, "Who?" He goes, "Marvin Hagler." I said, "What?" Because it was in a mall, and Hagler brought his wife shopping, and he was just sitting in the bar having a couple of drinks. And I said, he goes, I put him on the phone with you, but he doesn't look like he wants to talk to anybody.
He just wanted. Marvin was very like, he was like an everyday guy.
No bodyguard, you know, no chauffeur.
Sugar Ray Leonard, as much as I love Leonard, he wouldn't have been in a bar like that. You know, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have been.
No, it's truly an amazing boxing world. And when we can these things come full circle, and we see the prime Hagler, and then we see the Sugar Ray Leonard fight, which is got just as much controversy as this fight. And then, then we see the end of Marvin Hagler. And man, that's something I'm grateful to be part of. That's something I'm grateful to have lived. Where a lot of cats that we deal with out here, we're talking these fights and we're getting all charged up and we're going back, and the closest they've come to seeing them is on YouTube, man. And it's I'm not going to say it's a shame, because I wish I was only seeing them on YouTube. I wish I had another 50 years to go on this fucking crazy space. Oh man, I said it. I went the whole show without dropping an F-bomb.
Hey, look, this is from the heart, Bruce. So I mean, come
on. 99.9%. I'm trying to keep it clean. I'm trying not to smoke as much weed and stuff on the show. I'm just trying to make it more fan friendly and not give us the R-rated look over here. I want to keep it PG, and because a lot of people they tell me that they watch it with their kids and they watch it with their wives, and sometimes we get a little too carried away here. But hey, it's all good, and I'm not gonna. I'm no school mom. I'm not
No,
gonna.
you're human, and you're just showing it's not done out of ignorance or just being a jackass.
Oh
It's
man,
it's
dude, I didn't even realize I had this here. See that? It's Marvin's obituary.
that's something I never hoped I would never see. An obituary to a guy that you admire, and I mean, I grew up. I was a kid watching him fight.
Wow. See, because I found that today, and I said I'm gonna stick that up in the Marvin Hagler picture, put it in the corner, and yeah, it's Marvin Hagler, the middleweight boxer, the middleweight boxing great whose title reign and career ended with a split decision loss to Sugar Ray Leonard in 1978, died Saturday. He was 66. Wife Kay Hagler confirmed the death on Facebook on her verified Marvelous Marvin Hagler fan club page. I'm sorry to make a very sad announcement, she wrote. Today, unfortunately, my beloved husband, Marvelous Marvin, passed away unexpectedly at his home here in New Hampshire. Our family requests that you respect our privacy during this difficult time. Hagler was 66, 3-2 with 52 knockouts from 1973 to 1987. He was the undisputed middleweight champion from 1980 to his loss to Leonard at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas on April 6, 1987. Hagler was born in Newark, New Jersey, and moved with his family to Brockton, Mass. in the late 60s. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame and World Boxing Hall of Fame in 1983. And man, and all I can say is, man, thank you, Marvin Hagler, for a hell of a ride.
And he fought at middleweight his whole career. No jumping up and down and around. Now, granted, that's before there were super middleweights for the majority of his career. So 160 to 175 is no joke, especially when Michael Spinks is the guy who's the champion. But you talk about dedication? This guy was a middleweight his whole career.
And he never had trouble making middleweight. He
never.
And contrary, yeah, he changed his name to Marvelous Marvin Hagler because ABC refused to announce him as Marvelous Marvin Hagler. They wanted to announce him by his Christian name, whatever you want to call it. So he went out and illegally changed it. So they had to.
They had no choice.
Marvin Hagler. That's like I love these little bits and little tidbits that you remember them, and just
Marvin, his pro debut, May 18th, 1973. He weighed 160 pounds. He fought Sugar Ray Leonard April 6th, 1987, 158 and a half pounds.
So that's 14 years later, and he didn't vary from one division to the next, and he was offered big money to move up and challenge. Was it? I
read Michael Spinks. They were talking about a fight with which, some people say, "Oh, Hagler. How come Hagler didn't go up and wait and get belts?" First of all, why should he when he's a middleweight? He wasn't going to go down to 154. To go up to 175, Marvin Hagler was not a big man. He was 5'8", 5'9".
I couldn't believe how small he was when I stood next to him. He was just he was no taller than I am, but like you said, he was just chiseled, not wide, just very, very compact, almost
right.
like a small oak tree. And he had good bicep definition. You could see the veins popping out of his buys, and he sweat like an animal in training and sparring, and just a great guy, man. And George, I don't want to get redundant around here. We've been here for a couple of hours, brother. You want to say anything to these good people before I throw you out of here?
That 43 years ago, it was a great night of boxing, and it's something, again, you'll never see a night like this with the quality of fighters like this, you just won't see it today because it's too much of a business. But we got to see it, Bruce. We got to see it live, and we get to relive these memories. And I do thank God for YouTube because people can watch these fights. And you know how it was when you and I were young and growing up. You had to tape the fights on VHS if you wanted to see them. You couldn't, there wasn't a boxing channel. There wasn't the YouTube. You couldn't just watch any fight at any time like you can now. And we're just celebrating these guys. And what a night. 43 years ago. And Marvin Hagler won that fight. Marvelous Marvin Hagler won that fight. He should have been middleweight champ that night. But his day was going to come. And like we said, it didn't really hurt him. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time.
And you're right. You couldn't DVD it if you weren't there watching it. If you didn't have a VCR, a video cassette recorder. A lot of people don't know what those suckers are, man. They were, damn. I probably got a half dozen of them sitting in front of me over there.
I got them. I have tapes scattered around somewhere. I've got in my garage. I've got a VHS player, which I should hook up one day and just because I kept all the fights that I taped.
Oh, I must have had 30 VCR tapes full of fights, all of Evander Holyfield's fights.
Back to back.
But I put them in the closet, and I had work done in my house. I had it insulated, and I didn't. I took it out a couple of years later, and they're all just caked in dust.
I
I
know you're getting ready to end this, but remember with the VHS tapes, when you were recording, you could record at different speeds. So if you and the quality was better, like at a certain speed, but you only had like 2 hours to record, and then it was 4 and 6. So I would record it all at the slow speed, so I could just get like fight after fight after fight on that tape, and it would just be just chock full of tapes. I mean, chock full of fights. And one day we'll have to pull those tapes out and talk about that.
Oh yeah, man. If it's boxing, brother, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there, and
but it was a great night. 2 hours just flew by. Talking about stuff you love, it's easy and it goes by quick.
George, a pleasure, brother, a pleasure.
Yes,
and
sir. Thanks for letting me back, Bruce. Thanks, man.
You signed a 3-fight deal over here. It's not just
I did, and I'm going to honor the contract.
I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it. And anybody out there, make sure you go sub to George Jakovic. He's got some great. He does one round with George, and it's anywhere between 5 minutes and 15 minutes, and he just lets you know what's going on. And man, I'm a better person for meeting George Jakovic, bro.
Hey, likewise, and I'm glad you're healthy, and I'm glad you're feeling good.
Stay blessed, brother.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Guys, for me, it doesn't get any better than this, man. I love rehashing boxing because this is where I come from. If it wasn't for the 70s, the 80s, I wouldn't be here today, man. And I appreciate all you cats coming in here, man. I appreciate all the well wishes you gave to me, man. I've been doing the music in the morning, making the walks. I find some bootleg concert out there, and we play some music. And there's one thing I want to stress just a little bit, man. I just got through with a 3-day bout with COVID. Some people, man, my best friend, he died because of COVID, and it's nothing to laugh about. And I just want to say, man, stay healthy, stay hydrated, be active, walk around, man, eat well. Stay away from processed foods. Stay away from high fat, high sugar foods, man. Let me go back on that. Stay away from the bad fats. Stick to the omega-3s, the omega-6s, the good fats, and we'll have you around here for a little bit longer. Anyway, man, Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more. Thank you so much for being here. I'm out. Peace.